Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be doing my player profile of Trevor Lawrence, quarterback of the Clemson Tigers, and I'm going to be talking about my overall opinion of the player, going through his stats in college, as well as kind of what I felt about Trevor Lawrence while I was watching his tape, going through a couple of aspects of a quarterback's game that I find is important at transitioning from the college level to the NFL level, and then at the end, I'm going to tell you guys whether he's worth the first overall pick, and I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you right now, he's obviously worth the first overall pick. He will be the first overall pick, and unless something happens where Trevor Lawrence does something insane, non-football related, then he will be the #1 overall pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is very interesting because we don't even have to think about anything. We know exactly where he's going to go. We know he's going to be a Jaguar. We know it is going to be a bit of a building process in Jacksonville, but Trevor Lawrence is the perfect guy for that scenario, and in this video, we're going to go over why. So if you guys do end up enjoying my breakdown of quarterback Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, because not only is it free, I put out content every single day talking about fantasy football, I talk about the NFL draft, and I talk about the NFL as a whole in all these videos. Now, obviously, this is more of a fantasy football channel, but if you guys watch football, you probably play fantasy football, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. So again, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback of the Clemson Tigers, came out after finishing his junior season in 2020. Trevor is 6'6", 220 pounds. He had his pro day a couple of days ago, and he looked very good there. But obviously, a pro day is not going to make me want to draft the guy if I'm the Jaguars, because he's throwing to people without other guys covering them. It's just going through the motions, and as long as he didn't mess something up completely there, he was going to be fine. So in his career, his first year at Clemson, they end up winning the national championship, which is very cool because in 2016, they won with Deshaun Watson. Watson gets drafted, obviously, plays very well in Houston. Now, obviously, that's up in the air where he's going to play, but it was a nice passing of the torch from Deshaun Watson to the new Clemson quarterback, obviously, in Trevor Lawrence. At the age of 19, wins that national championship in 15 games on 397 passing attempts, threw for 3,280 passing yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, 65.2% completion ratio, 30 passing touchdowns to just 4 INTs, and some nice rushing yards as well, 203 rushing yards for 1 rushing touchdown. Now, the rushing ability of Trevor Lawrence, to me, is probably his most underrated asset. The guy is a very talented rusher when he gets out of the pocket, which we're going to be talking about a little bit later. He is able to use his legs. Sure, he's not the best technically mobile quarterback in this draft because Justin Fields is that, but not enough people talk about it, in my opinion, especially when you look at 2019. At the age of 20, 15 games played, 407 passing attempts for 3,665 yards, 9.0 yards per attempt, a 65.8% completion percentage, 36 touchdowns to 8 INTs, and 563 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. This guy is able to get it done on the ground. He is able to trick the defenders, especially in RPO scenarios. They typically bite on the running back because they forget that Trevor Lawrence actually does have some speed, which is very interesting to talk about because not too many people, in my opinion, at least what I've watched on Trevor Lawrence, don't really emphasize enough that this guy is a very competent rusher, and that will very much help him in today's NFL, where a lot of these quarterbacks, to be really good, you kind of have to be mobile. Now, obviously, Tom Brady is the fucking Statue of Liberty in the pocket, and he's still the greatest quarterback, still going to throw a million touchdowns, but it does definitely help, at least in my opinion, to be mobile in today's NFL. And in 2020, the COVID season, he did end up getting corona, so he missed a couple of games, so he only played in 10 games, obviously, but the season was also not super long because of COVID. At the age of 21, threw 334 times for 3,153 passing yards, 9.4 yards per attempt. Interesting, every single year of this guy's collegiate career, his yards per attempt went up 8.3 to 9.0 in his sophomore year. In his junior year, he threw for 9.4 yards per attempt, and his completion percentage also went up every year, 65.2 freshman year, 65.8 sophomore year. In his junior year, 69.2. Very nice. And his passing touchdowns were 24 to 5 INTs, as well as 107 rushing yards for 8 total touchdowns. So this guy had 20 total rushing touchdowns, I believe. 18 actually. Quick maths based off of me using my hands to count 9 plus 8 +1. So he is definitely, in my opinion, like I said, a very solid rushing quarterback, as well as having a tremendous arm. This guy's accolades are absolutely insane. He's like, when you watch The Dictator, I've made this joke before, but, maybe you're new, you wouldn't have heard the joke. In The Dictator, Sacha Baron Cohen's character has so many fucking medals on this guy. It's like that. That's how many accolades this guy has, and I'm not even going to name all of them. Here's a few. 2020 ACC Player of the Year on offense. 2020 ACC Player of the Year overall. 2-time Heisman finalist. Passing completion percentage #1 in the ACC in 2019 and 2020. #9 in the NCAA in 2020. Most passing yards per attempt in the ACC 2018-2019, #2 in passing yards in the ACC in 2018, #1 in the ACC in passing yards in 2019, 2020 #2 in passing yards in the ACC, and 19th highest passing efficiency rating ever in the NCAA. While the numbers were amazing, now we're going to get to the part of the video where I kind of break down his skill set and what I feel is important in a quarterback. The first of that is accuracy. When it comes to being an accurate passer, Trevor Lawrence is supreme in this part of his game. There could be 7 guys looking to end this man's life, and he still throws a laser. I would say he is the most accurate passer in the draft out of all of these guys, and it just seems like a no-brainer that he's going to get drafted this highly when you see how accurately this guy is able to place the ball regardless of the defenders. His release is very important as well. This man has a beautiful release, in my opinion. His release comes out super quick. It's like a fucking gun, a bullet getting shot out of this man's hand, which is very important in the NFL because you're not going to have certain amount of seconds that you may have in college, right? In college, the line might be able to block some of these bums that Clemson is going against for like 5 seconds. In the NFL, it's going to be very hard to see a pocket like that, and he doesn't even use the amount of time a majority of the time and just whips it out there. But when he does need to use that time behind the line, he uses his movement inside of the pocket. He is able to kind of move up in the pocket as he feels the defense circling around him. He's able to move to the side when he feels the defense is coming in front of him. He's able to kind of see everything. It's like the guy has 3 eyes or something. And then what goes hand in hand in that is the mobility, which I just talked about. Obviously, like I said, he's not the most mobile quarterback going into this draft, but he's still able to do it. He's still able to bait defenders in these RPO scenarios, in these read option scenarios. I watched a game up against Virginia Tech where the guy's not playing very well. He only threw 1 touchdown in that game, I believe, but he rushed in 2 touchdowns because when he wasn't able to get it done with his arms, with his hand, his arm, he was just able to run it in, and he's very good at that. And the final thing to discuss for Trevor Lawrence is his arm strength. This guy can throw the ball all over the field. Any aspect of the field, short, medium, high. Perfect every single fucking time. Now, I've seen a bit of critique about, oh, he's not the greatest at going through his progression. I didn't really see that personally. In all the games I've watched, I watched games from his freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. We've all seen games of Trevor Lawrence. If you even watch college football, the one time that most people watch it, you've seen him because he's been in the national championship and won it. Trevor Lawrence is very good, and there's no doubt about it. I could go on for literally hours discussing why Trevor Lawrence is so good, from his arm strength to his perfect accuracy to him being able to maneuver inside the pocket, to be able to move out of the pocket and rush for touchdowns, to be able to make a play out of nothing. Trevor Lawrence is perfect. There's a reason why guys are comparing him to Andrew Luck. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time because that's just blatantly fucking crazy coming out of the draft, trying to put your flag into the ground saying this guy is going to be one of the greats of all time. In the NFL, that is near impossible to predict, but what I can predict is a very good career in Jacksonville. What I can predict is a freshman season, a rookie season, that is very strong. Even with not the greatest of weapons, Trevor Lawrence, to me, has the skill set of a guy that will go out there and ball out. I really do believe in Trevor Lawrence a whole ton. Again, it is a no-brainer that he will be a Jacksonville Jaguar, and some of that may scare you guys. If you're talking fantasy football-wise, you're talking dynasty-wise, you might be a little scared. Oh, he's going to Jacksonville. Maybe they're not the best, but, I mean, if you remember a couple years ago, they were great. Now it's a whole different organization. Urban Meyer, they're going to be bringing in wide receivers. They have nice wide receivers there now. They have a good running back. They have a nice offense for Trevor Lawrence to get into. So I really do see success year one from Trevor Lawrence in the NFL. And if you guys want to talk about Trevor Lawrence down below in the comments, I'm happy to answer any of your guys' questions. If you want to just discuss anything about him, let me know. The most interesting game I watched out of Trevor Lawrence was actually the game up against Ohio State from this year. Because this semifinal game of the college football playoffs was a murder 49-28 of Clemson. But Trevor Lawrence, even while they were down tremendous in this game, the receivers are dropping the ball, the receivers aren't getting open, all this shit, Trevor Lawrence still 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 INT, as well as 1 rushing touchdown. Even against top-tier defenses in a game that is going to be very difficult for Trevor, when they're down, he fights back. So I am 100% bought in that this guy is going to be amazing in the NFL, and I assume everyone else is bought in as well, because when the guy's the number 1 fucking pick in the draft unanimously, he should be good. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I really hope you guys did end up enjoying. If you guys want to see more breakdown of the quarterback prospects going into the 2021 NFL Draft, make sure that you guys let me know. I would love to talk more about them. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the videos throughout the week. Some of these videos are pre-recorded. I'm recording this one a little earlier. You're going to be seeing it probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, as there is work going on to my house. If you guys have seen some of the videos when breaking news happens, I'm in my car with my fucking iPhone sitting there recording a video, which is obviously not what I typically do, but what I have to do when there's just hammering going down upstairs and you can't hear anything, and I don't want to make a video where it sounds like I'm with fucking Bob the Builder or something. So thank you guys all for watching. I love you guys all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with what I can only assume as another banger. I love you guys all. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Goodbye!